Welcome to Live Life with Sean. I'm your host, Sean Higgins. I'm a lifelong information security technology expert with a passion for speaking, coaching, and writing. In this podcast, I'm going to talk about what's going on in my life, and I hope by me talking about what's going on in my life, it will help you with whatever you're going through. I hope you enjoy this content, and if you do, please share it, subscribe to it, like it, and or leave a comment or question, as this will help others find this podcast. I thank you very much for joining me this evening. And, I really want to talk about what happened to me last weekend. Last weekend, I moved my daughter into her new apartment for her second round of university. And I say that because she graduated last April. And now she's going back for her teaching certificate. And, it was very interesting because she's been home for a year. And it felt a lot different. It felt a little more permanent with her moving out. But it was different than when she first went to university for a couple of reasons. When she went away for the first time, it was the first time she'd been away for that long a time. She's gone away, on trips and stuff like that. But it's the first time she was away for a long period of time. And it was the first time my wife and I had to, we were the only ones at home. So, we're, number one, she's gone. Number two, my wife and I need to, I think first off, we each needed to adjust to her not being here and I think we both went through it differently. And then adjust to it just being the two of us. And, we made it through. We learned to adjust, and it's still an adjustment, but that's relationship. So it's good. And now with her gone this time, at least for me, again, there's a couple other things that changed. First off, she's a lot closer. When she went away for her undergraduate, she was 16 hours away by car. So it was a long way to go. Now she's 3. So we also had a chance to move her in, which was an adventure in itself. Maybe I'll talk about that in a little bit. But we had a chance to get her there, get her set up. And, it was a little easier to say goodbye. She's not that far away. And it felt like the right time, at least for me. Another thing that happened, she moved in with her boyfriend. Again, a little more permanent, What can I say about the boyfriend? Nice guy, treats her well. And, okay. A lot of people ask me, so is he good enough? Well, is there anybody really good enough for your kids, right? He treats her well. They seem to get along very well. That's good. The other interesting thing was there was a lot of stuff she needed for her apartment. She's been packing for months and gathering stuff a little bit here and there. And, it's different because, when she had a place in university, her undergraduate, it was always with 4 or 5 students. So it was a lot of communal stuff. Now it's just her and her boyfriend. So they needed a lot of stuff that, wouldn't be provided, number one, in the apartment. And number two, they just needed it because they're both coming into it fresh. And, I think I was a little bit more ready this time for her to go. I think because it was a little bit more drawn out. When she went to undergraduate, I knew she was going, but there wasn't the buildup of the stuff. There were boxes everywhere of her packing and get everything organized. She did a great job of it. So that, I think I was a little bit more ready for her to go this time. All right, I'm going to talk a little about the move. We had this planned out for a while. We had the truck all picked out. And it was interesting, because my wife stages, we rent a lot of trucks from U-Haul. So, I think about 6 weeks in advance, we, decided to pick the day. Well, we knew she was going to move in May 1st, but we picked up. We we were going to pick up the truck on Friday night, and then drop it off in where she was on Saturday or Sunday. We had till Sunday. So we went to our favorite place and got it all arranged. But U-Haul called us 24 hours in advance and said, no, 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 you got to go pick it up at this convenience store in a town that's about a half hour away from us. And we're like, okay. So her and her boyfriend, the two of us, we go pick up the truck. We show up at the convenience store, and we ordered a 15-foot truck. There's only a 10-foot truck in the parking lot, and I'm kind of like, that's only a 10-foot truck. He didn't believe me, but I've rented a lot of trucks. I know the difference between a 10 and a 15. Went inside, talked to the convenient guy, said, hey, we're here to pick up the truck. He calls U-Haul. He's got a bunch of customers. He's taking care of them, taking care of us. Gets rid of the customers, or takes care of the customers. Don't say get rid of them. He's got a key, and he walks outside, and he's walking around the building. He can't find a 15-foot truck. I'm glad he didn't try and get us to take the 10. That would have been a nightmare. But thankfully, he was great. He called U-Haul back and worked with them, and they found us another truck, and just had to go pick it up someplace else. And another 15 minutes away, which is fine. I mean, it's just the process, and I was very comfortable with it because he was good. And we got the 15-foot truck. We brought it back, and then on Friday night we filled it up. Yeah, filled it with all the stuff. I worked my magic in packing. Yes, I'm an expert at it, and just got everything in. Which is good. It was good to get everything packed up on Friday night. It was a little bit later than we wanted because we didn't get started packing an hour later because of the kerfuffle with the truck. But it was good to have it done. And then early Saturday morning, we headed out. And we ended up getting there about 11 o'clock. And after my daughter and her boyfriend took care of the lease and the landlord and stuff, we backed the truck in and we emptied it out. Whew. A lot of stuff, a lot of moving stuff around. And then after we got everything into her place, we got rid of the truck, came back, and my wife and daughter unpacked a bunch of stuff, and the boyfriend and I, we started putting together a bunch of stuff that they had ordered. There were chairs, there were cabinets, there were tables. Went very well. That evening, man, I was toast. Yeah, we played a game of cards, and then I was on the couch like, okay, I can't, I'm done. I was, that Sunday, Monday, I was sore, so. But it was a good move. We got him in. The area looks nice. We left Sunday, came back, and yeah, it's been it's been an interesting year all around. When my daughter graduated university, her plans were to go to New Zealand to get her teacher's certificate. And so she came back from university. She had a director position at a summer camp, local summer camp, day camp. But due to COVID, that was up and down, and it became it became online only, and very little online only because it took them a long time to figure out what they were going to do. So my daughter struggled through that because she really wanted to work all summer and didn't work as much as she would have liked to. She found a nanny job, which she had intended to work September through to January, or when she would then go off to New Zealand. It was a very up and down year, as everybody else has had. And in November, New Zealand came back and said, nope, we're not letting anybody in the country. So her plans were off. And, it was amazing to watch my daughter. She had a lot of ups and downs. I mean, that was a big downer because she really wanted to go to New Zealand, was really excited about it. Now she was, oh my God, what am I going to do for a year? It was rough couple of days. But, you know, I give it to her. She went online and found this other program, which I think is more in line with what she wants to do. It's outdoor and experiential education. And yeah, she applied for it. I mean, so in November she finds out she can't go to New Zealand. She finds this program between November and December, has a couple of weeks to put everything together to apply, okay, to apply for it, and then gets the application in and finds out in February she's been accepted. Pretty quick turnaround. And she also, yeah, it was amazing to watch and just her to go through that. And to watch her was interesting because she also, with the nanny job, the woman who she was nannying for ran a nature school, which my daughter loves. And she ended up working it. So at the end of the last couple of months that she was there, well, first off, she got extended. They had no problems with her. I mean, she was in November. She told them, said, "Hey, I don't know what I'm going to be doing, but I'll continue on." And they said, "Great, we want you to continue on," because they loved her. And but then, early part of 2021, the owner of the nature school said, "Hey, why don't you teach Fridays?" So she was thrilled. She got to teach Fridays, and it was just, a lot of fun to watch her go through that. I'm gonna miss her being around the house because she brings a different energy to the house, and she's got a lot of friends around. Okay, I won't say a lot because of people are in different states with COVID, but when we were allowed to, and the Bachelor was on, it was Monday nights was Bachelor night in our house, and her and two of her friends would always get together and watch The Bachelor. It was always good to see the friends. And they'd all show up just after 8 and watch it for till 10 and have a good time. She'd have a couple of fires in the backyard. We got a little pit, nothing major, but again, just getting people together, keeping them apart. And card games around the dinner table, 5 crowns. We played a number of hands. I didn't play them all. I know my wife and daughter played a lot more than I did, but I'm going to miss the three of us playing. I mean, we did play on Saturday night before we left, so that was good. The house is feeling a bit emptier, but it's still early. I think we're still adjusting to it. My wife has been busy with her staging, so that's kept her busy after hours. My daughter's room is now empty because not only did she take her bed, she took her dresser, she took her desk. And I'm hoping to turn it into an office. Okay, I got my fingers crossed. I have a second desk in there, but that's as far as I've gotten so far. The desk is pretty big. How do I feel? I'm first off, I'm very excited for her. She is so excited about this program. And it's interesting to see her turn around from being so excited to want to go to New Zealand to the down of not being able to go, finding this new program, getting in. And at the kickoff, she found out that there was a lot of competition. 1 in 10 people got in. So that, she's done very well to get in. So I'm excited about her, and she's not so far away, so it's not as big a change. I think, but my wife and I are looking at changes as well. My wife is looking at retiring at the end of August. My wife and I have always talked about where do we want to, I guess they settle down, but where do we want to live? Where do we want to, if anything, slow it down or change? And we started to talk about some of those things. I mean, the house that we were in was only supposed to be a stopgap until my daughter finished high school. But, after my daughter finished high school, I think the housing market was going crazy at the time. And we just never took action because we just didn't know where else to go. Didn't know if we should just move closer to my office just to save me the commute or what. So now we're talking about options and, we'll see where that goes. We're no rush here. So we're talking about it, and I'm looking at options outside of my day job as well. This podcast is one of them. I hope that people are enjoying it. I'm also developing a program, which I talked about on the last podcast that I did. I think the working title right now is Being a 21st Century Man. And, I'm going to talk about the changes that I'm going through in that program, and the changes that I see from what I was brought up to believe to what I'm starting to believe now. And I think that men are becoming more awake in this time. I'm working more on developing me as a speaker outside of my day job. I mean, I've done a lot of speaking for my day job, and I love it. I love to speak. I love to be in front of clients, love to be in front of groups. And I'm trying to figure out what my audience is, leaning towards working with university students. It's funny. Okay. I start thinking about this, working with university students, and my brother drops me an email and says, "Hey, would you talk to my students about how to manage stress?" And I said, "Great, let's do it." And actually, it was last Thursday night. Yeah, which is why I didn't record a podcast last week, is I talked to them about, well, I didn't call it managing stress. I called it managing life. And it was a great time. I enjoyed talking to the students. It was interesting to watch some of them be slumped over and then a little more sitting up after I finished up. I did really miss connecting with the audience, because that's what you get a lot of that. You get some of that connection when you're in person. I missed that because I wasn't in person. I wasn't able to have some of those students come up and talk a little bit more about what I talked about. I also did a couple of things that I normally don't do. I asked them for questions. Yeah, I think I always ask for questions, but I usually am running out of time where I am not able to take questions. And I think I came up a little shorter than I thought and decided let's take questions. And I had some really good questions, and I hope that I was able to answer them for them. So, yeah, it is different with my daughter not being here now. And I think this next weekend will really be different because I think that for the first time, my wife doesn't have anything to do and I don't have anything to do. Well, okay, I'm sure we got stuff to do, but my wife's been very busy with her staging and that's kept us busy on the weekends. I mean, I help a bit with it. She does a lot more of it than I do. So we'll see how this weekend is. I'm looking forward to it. Spend some time. Hockey playoffs are coming up because we both enjoy watching Toronto play. And it's springtime. I love being outside. I hope to get out on my bike. I thank you for joining me tonight on Live Life with Sean. Look, if you'd like to have a time to chat with me, go to my website, SeanCHiggins.com, and go to the Connect with Sean page on my website. And if you enjoyed the show, please share it, subscribe to it, like it, and or leave a comment or question, as this will help others find this podcast. I know it's a little shorter than I normally do, but until next time, have a wonderful week.